Welcome to Movement Focus. Today we'll be doing our Yin Yoga practice. So if you come onto your mat in an easy sitting position, I'm sitting up on a little block. So if you'd like to sit on a block, that might make it a little bit easier. And then just as you pause there, just see if you can come into and recognize maybe where there's tension in your hips or your legs. Let your hands just rest on top of your knees. You can create that Gaya Mudra with your thumb and finger. And take your gaze downward. And as you take a long, slow, deep inhale breath and exhale out, repeating that 3 times. And as you breathe in and out, just allowing yourself to be in the space, in your space, on your mat. And then if you'll bring your gaze upward, I want you to focus, because breath is so important, on the ball. I want you to inhale as I expand the ball, and then slowly exhale as the ball contracts. Just like the sensation of the diaphragm. Inhale, expand, exhale, contract. Inhale. And slowly we'll exhale. Just focusing into that sphere. And as you go through your postures, your sphere of focus could be anywhere within the mind's eye. So taking that breath in, slowly and fully exhaling out. And then let's just bring our hands into our Anjali Mudra. Take a big stretch, reaching up with that breath. Open the arms and then just sway to the side. If you're sitting on that block, you'll feel that resistance as you go from one side to the other, nice and slow. So let's slow ourselves down this morning. Open the palms, spread the fingers wide, come into goddess arms. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze down and then retract your chin, pulling it back just a little bit. Take a deep inhale breath here and then exhale as we come together. Maybe you felt a little bit of tension or tightness somewhere, right? So then cross body, whichever side you'd like to go to, anchor that leg down, bring the arm up, and just take a nice little side bend and then look up your elbow to your wrist. And then slowly back to center, hands come back to Anjali Mudra. Deep breath. We'll reach over, inhale, exhale as you come over there. And then pause, come back to center. So just gently opening the body. Inhale, reach up. Let your arms float down. Take a nice little twist right there. Trying to sit tall, lifting the chest, stacking the head where it belongs between the shoulders. And then slowly inhale to lift up. Side 2, we'll just twist around right there. We'll pause there as you rotate. And then as we untwist, bringing the arms up, hands come back to our heart center. We're going to make a transition. So wherever you had, just move it to the side because we may need it later. We're going to come all the way over onto your hands and knees. Our hands and knees in table. And in table right here, just let your hips shift from one side to the other. Now, throughout our practice, I may change directions a little bit just for me to see you and knowing how you can see me. Pause there and take a nice little slow cat and cow. Nice and slow, round up, exhaling the breath. Feel the spine open posteriorly. And then slowly let the back arch lift. And then anteriorly feel the spine open, the vertebrae. We'll pause right there. And then slowly bring your forearms to the mat. As you bring your forearms down to the mat, palms are face down. And slowly extend your leg back. Maybe push back into that heel, push back into the heel. We come into Crocodile Pose as a transition just to let the belly come down. And right there, we're in an extension. Now we will come back to Sphinx Pose. But let's lower on down to the mat, and you can bring one arm under you for your forehead, and then the other arm just where they're side by side. I want you to slide your side 1, let's call it your side 1 leg up, as if you were in a frog leg type of position right there. And then keeping the other leg nice and straight. So always notice that one side, the straight leg, would be your anchoring side. The leg that's come over into that bent position that looks like a half of a frog is moving in a different direction. There's a different sensation. So your sensation, your pakyahara. And then just let your forehead rest right there. And notice your pelvis. So in Yin Yoga, we want to come into the pose slowly. We want to put ourselves in a position where we can allow the body to calm down. So some positions, as I've observed, make people fidget, and the fidget is what we want to let go of. So take that breath in. So our breath is going to help us to, as we exhale, release and let go. Feel as if the muscles in the leg are melting now into the mat. And I just felt myself let go in that quad because it was tensed up. So again, mentally take that inhale breath, breathe in, exhale, let your mind send those signals to the leg that it needs to let go. It's interesting how we tense muscles and we don't realize it. It just happens, right? Sometimes it's a protective mechanism. So just let yourself be and just feel into that sensation. That many postures, our legs are in different positions as we move from one to the next. And so in our yin practice, we come into that posture slowly. We want to find the calmness in that posture and settle in. Then focusing into our breath. Again, feel that rhythmical cycle of the breath. Inhaling, right? Find your sphere of breath. You feel the breath come in and you slowly exhale. Many times we say, draw the breath into the area that holds the tension, and as you exhale, see if you can let go. Let that area melt. Now, physiologically, the breath doesn't just go right there, right? But you're moving everything through your body. So it's always about the flow. The flow of breath pushes all the fluids through the body. Now, in many of our positions, we may be in a position where one side is compressed while another side's opening. So that compressed side, of course, is closed off. But then we'll do a counter pose to get everything flowing through there again. And so now that we've been here, use your arms to bring yourself to where you can take that leg all the way back. All right. And now bring yourself back into a Sphinx just for a moment. And we'll pause here, and then we'll come into our second side. So on our second side, let's just slide that knee up. You can already be laying all the way down because you and your body know where we're going. However, one side may show up very different than the other side. So again, take that deep breath. Let your forehead rest on your arm. Find that sphere of focus within your mind. Take in that deep breath and that slow exhale. And now melt. Let it melt. Let go. Let go in those glutes. Our glutes are great, notorious for tightening up when we do things. So now just let them go. So letting go of that muscle tension is what helps us to stretch the connective tissue involved in where we are. So take that deep inhale and slow exhale, and again, just melt here. So a little story about finding that letting go. Just letting go. There's a little tugboat. Think of the tugboat out on the water, and it's tugging around. And the tugboat is tired. It wants to find stillness, but it just keeps tugging around, and the water keeps splashing up the sides. And it keeps going around. It's going in circles, figure eights, whatever it's going in, kind of like your mind. And then all of a sudden, the boat realizes, if I shut off the engines, the water becomes still around me. There's no more water splashing up the sides. So find that calmness in your mind to allow the calmness to come into your body. Take that deep inhale, slow full exhale breath. Relax, release, let go. It's also a great place if you like the sound of the Om. Breathe in and just feel that vibration, that sensation, right? It's all about that sensation. Notice that sensation. Slowly we'll begin to move out of this. Now I can't say that this pose feels that so much of the compression. You may have had some, it just depends on how you're put together. So we'll come into a Sphinx pose. However, I want to offer to you that if you have low back, or maybe you're a little bit swayed in your low back and this is not comfortable for you, extension is actually right here. Stack your hands, put your forehead right there, and there you are in spinal extension. Your toes are extended, and again, you find that place of calm. And just come into your breath. Notice the movement of the rib cage. So when we come into Sphinx, we're technically in a hyperextension, maybe 30 degrees, depending on where we're at. In your Sphinx, your palms are face down, fingers are open from each other. Your elbows are back far enough that they're just slightly behind the shoulder if we were to draw a line. And then gently pull the shoulders back, and then I'm going to make sure that my neck and my head are in a place that is neutral. So I gently feel the scapula, the shoulder blades, kind of pulling towards my waist, just gently, very gently, because that's what's holding me up here, yes? So take that deep inhale breath and exhale. Another option that you could do to make yourself find that stillness, to find that little more comfort level, is if you tighten the muscle around your navel. It actually runs from hip bone to hip bone around the body. So just gently tighten it, gently, gently. Sometimes we do things, we have to do it faster, harder, bigger, right? So when I say gently, I want you just to do it like 30%. But now notice if your glutes tightened up, if they did let go over those glutes, let go of that glute muscle. It's not its turn. Take that deep breath. Most of the day we find ourselves working in that front area of our body, and so we tend to lean into it, weakening the posterior thoracic area. And so we need to do our extension in this manner so that we straighten that out, but also being aware of that lower back. So if you need to tighten your belly, or even in this pose, you could put a blanket under your belly, fold it up. So always bring your tools to your mat for Yin Yoga, whether it's a bolster, a blanket, a block. Take that deep inhale breath and slow full exhale. As we pause here, you may find that after you're here, if you've been tightening the transverse abdominis, that maybe you can release it a little bit. So you just have to kind of slowly test the water. Find the stillness though. Find where you're not fidgeting and moving around, and you can just take that deep inhale breath and feel the breath. And exhale the breath out and let go, allowing the mind just to focus into that sphere of rhythmical breath. Slowly from here, we'll take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, let your elbows slide out. Release your body to the mat. Bring your hands back by your chest, elbows squeezed towards your spine. Pushing into the heel of the hand, we'll make our way to come into table again. In our table, we'll take your knees and step them wide on the mat. Coming into child's pose. So notice the position right there of your lower leg, your foot, the toes, the ankle, and then begin to sit back and just slowly invite that sensation as you come back. Now you could always use a blanket back here between your knee and your hamstring, your calf and your hamstring. As you come back, we'll reach the arms forward and place your forehead on the mat. And take that deep inhale and slow full exhale breath. In our wide-kneed child pose, tadpole in Yin Yoga, we notice our spine. Oh, the spine feels great in this position. It's lengthened out. Another option that you could do, if your head does not come to the mat and you have a block right there, you could put your forehead on that block. So say you might be in this position, keeping yourself from bending in that knee as much. You can place the forehead here, and then I try to keep the neck neutral. Feel the arms reach straight forward. Again, they're lined up from the origin of the shoulder joint. So as you take that deep inhale and slow full exhale, right now our vision is down into the earth. So taking that deep breath, inhale, exhale. Again, find that place of calmness. As you breathe, you can feel the ribcage expand as the diaphragm fills. And as you exhale, you feel it contract. Now there is compression on the front of your leg, but we're opening to the glute and the hamstring. And so that compression over the front of the leg may affect if you're a body motion. Right? So again, allow the mind to relax. Find that rhythmic motion of your breath. Maybe the sound of your breath. The breath is likened as to ocean waves, yes? So you inhale and you exhale. And you're welcome to do ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. You're welcome to occasionally maybe intermingle it with a breath through your nose and out through your mouth, because that sigh lets you let go a little deeper. Again, melting you into the mat. Notice where you feel sensation in your spine. Gently notice it and let it go. So as you pause here, we'll take another deep breath, exhale it out. And then as you take that next breath, we'll start to lift you up. And as you move slowly up, you may notice that busy sensation right there on the front of your legs. Step your knees back in under you. You're welcome to take a little cat and cow nice and slow right here. Remember, we're slowing things down, so we're not in a race for anything. And then we'll slowly shift your weight from one side into the hip. Pause it there for a moment. Just feel what's happening, right? And then pause on the other side and feel what's happening there. And then back to center. And then maybe take a nice little hip circle. Just circle those hips around. I know I sped that up just a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to come around and then you'll pause. So you did one in each direction. So from there, we'll take you choose your side, one leg. Slide it back, push back into that heel, your toes tucked under, then float that leg up, and right there we'll take a spine balance. We'll reach out long, push through the heel, or point through the toe and tighten that quad. Slowly we'll bring the hand back to the mat, and you'll take that foot and step it forward for lizard pose, or dragon. In Yin Yoga, this is called dragon. So kind of scrunch, walk that foot forward enough, because then you'll bring your knee over the ankle. So right here, I'm going to stay folded in this position, extending that toe behind me. And then lift yourself up. So this is one form of dragon where we're here, and you want to drop into that hip. So we stretch. Bring your arms behind you. Open the chest. Retract your chin. And I'm going to gaze just partway up the wall. So our legs are where we're at. We'll let it set there for a moment. And if you'd like to take a twist, we'll take your arm across your knee. The other arm back here is going to go on that hip, and then I'm going to look away to the back. So there's several dragon poses. The legs are always the same, but the upper body may change. So dragon, I always tease about that dragons breathe fire, right? So if you're having some fire coming up, but we are moving in that third chakra area. So take that deep breath, inhale, exhale. If your body's not happy in this dragon, I'll show you our dragon flying low. The foot would have to move out to the edge, knee turns out. You're opening that leg out to the outside, and then we'll walk down to your elbows inside that leg. Dragon flying low, arm crosses. The other hand comes up to the knee, and you're rotated away. Take that deep inhale and exhale, so you settle into which posture will work for you. We'll be here then for a few breaths, a few minutes. As you breathe in and out, and you feel the sensation again. You feel the sensation maybe across the back and around that hip. You feel the sensation through the hip flexor and down to its attachment place in the quad. Deep breath, inhale, exhale. So you choose if you're upright or if you're in dragon flying low. Take that deep inhale and exhale. Again, this posture is the one I see the most fidgeting in. So think about the boat. Shut down the engines. Let the mind go. Find the position that works for you, that helps you to accommodate the task. Take that deep breath. Exhale. Take another breath. Exhale, let go. Take another breath and then slowly and fully exhale, let go. So if you went with me into this lower dragon, begin to toe heel your foot back in. Begin to shift back your weight as we walk the hands with that shifting motion. And we come back into what I reference as a quarter split. We'll pause there. And then slowly, we'll bring your hands inside. Bring that leg all the way back. Let it extend back. Pausing. And then slightly take and slide that foot across. Turn the little toe side down and drop that hip. So I'm on my right leg. It's the long leg behind me. And that right leg, I'm just letting that hip just drop right in there. The sensation in the hip feels wonderful. And then slowly we'll drag it back under us. You're welcome again to take a little cat and cow here or a hip side to side, toggling the hips or a circle. Whichever serves you, just remember we need to go slow, slow, slow. And then as we come into our side two leg, we'll take that leg back, press into the heel, float that leg up and add the opposite arm. It's always a check to make sure that arm's in the right place, yes? Because if it's kickstanded out there, it's not going to be supportive. Pausing there, then let the hand come down, and we'll thread that foot through. Give it a little help, yes. That's totally allowable. Then inch that foot forward. Once it's forward, you can bring yourself all the way up And then we'll drop again. Reach the arms behind you. So again, always think of that spine. Where is your spine? Lengthen. So lengthen from the back side of the crown of the head upward. Take your gaze forward and then let the collarbones feel nice and open right there. And then we'll slowly come into that twist. So you do have some options in a lot of the yin postures, just as you do in your vinyasa flow postures. So as we come into that twist and we just settle in there to our dragon, and then you know which dragon you chose earlier. If you stayed here or if you went with me down into that dragon flying flow position. Again, find what works for you because it's all about finding the stillness. Deep breath. If you want to come down into that lower dragon, we'll move that foot out, turn it out slightly on a diagonal. We'll come down. You can always use a block or a bolster right there too. If I come into that dragon flying low, I'm going to rotate right here. So I like this one. So that's why I thought I would share it with you just in case you were there. But if you want to stay in high dragon, you stay where you need to be. This is your practice. Always remember. So take those times to just honor where you need to be, body and mind. Sometimes our mind thinks it might need to go to that other posture or try it, when really our body knows better. You know, they sometimes have that little battle going on. So again, we want to be like the boat. Find the still water. Take that deep breath. Let go. Let be. And as you find that position, and we find that stillness. As I said, dragons, breathe flyers. So this is the posture I notice the most fidgeting in. Trying to find that stillness. So very much like that little boat, tugging around. Find that stillness. Find where you can calm with the breath, and let go, relax and release. Allow the mind to stay present here on your mat. Whatever's coming later today will come. Whatever happened yesterday already did. So think about that sphere. Focus into that ball. Inhaling, it expands. Exhaling, it contracts. Slowly, wherever you're at, very slowly, we'll begin to move. So as I pull back through my hip, situate the leg to the forward, and then walk back into that quarter split. Where you just let that leg become straight. Deep breath and exhale it out. And then bringing your hands inside, we'll relocate that leg coming back, give it a nice little stretch to the back. And then back under you. Right here, let's just kind of toggle the hips to the side, push into it and hold. And then back through and to the other side, push into it and hold. And then back to center. Take that deep inhale and slow full exhale. I'm going to change positions just so that I'm with you. So go that side one leg again and extend it back. Lift it up. Take it out to the side. Pause right there. Take that deep inhale and exhale. And then lower the elbows down to the mat. So we're in outrigger pose right there. And this would be another place for a block. You could put the block for your forehead, and you know that block works in several different directions. And we want to put your neck in neutral. So as opposed to your head just hanging or dangling down, we're in that outrigger position. And once you get situated there, I want you to just turn your tailbone up about a 1/16 of an inch. You'll notice the inner thigh stretching a little more. So now find the place where you can find that stillness, that non-movement area. The only thing that's moving is your breath. Feeling the breath, breathe deeply. Slowly and fully exhale the breath out. Let go of the quad muscle. The quad muscle tries to tighten up right there. Yeah, again, it thinks it's helping. Needs to let go. Needs to release. Notice your positioning on that supported leg. The leg is directly under you. You're not leaning or pushing somewhere. Taking that deep inhale and exhale. Yes, alignment is important. Because if you're not in alignment, you may feel a totally different sensation. It could be something you don't need to feel. It could be what's causing you to be agitated and not finding the calmness. So make sure that you're stable on that supporting leg. You can always make little movements to adjust yourself. Then notice the position of your spine. Take a deep breath. Notice your shoulders. Let those shoulders gently pull in to their socket. So you might have a slight engagement of your lat muscle so that it holds you steady, right? Stabilizing you. Just breathing in and out. This is another place where you can really feel the expansion of the diaphragm in your rib cage. Another great place to let that breath outwards, just releasing downward to the earth's surface. And then letting the rain wash it away. Yes, we have rain today. So let's take 2 more nice breaths in and out. And then as we exit, we'll slide our hands in, lifting the elbows. Walk your hands into you. And then come upright. Well, my screen, oh well. We'll take a deep breath and then just take a little gate pose. Kind of a yawn position as just a, bringing it in between. Come back center. Can you go the other way? Tighten that core. Just tap your fingers to the floor and lift it back up. Oops, there we go. And then bring your hands into your heart center. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Come forward. Hands to the mat. Take that leg that's extended out there. That's your side one leg. Bring it across again. Sweep it to the other side. Take that little hip drop. Drop that hip. Feel into that sensation. Feels good. Everyone I've shown this to says it feels good. So, and then we'll bring it back in under you. So right there, let's just take a little sway from one side to the other. As then we'll gently make our way to the other side. So occasionally when we come out of postures, we're going to press back. And then take that leg out to the side. So you already feel some compression there. And then slowly let the foot roll outward. So now the position of your foot, yes, we want to try to get your foot forward, but ankles are very different, right? And so is one side to the other. And I noticed right there, if you let go of that quad muscle, it releases the compression that you're feeling so much in the hip. Bring yourself to your elbows. Again, just setting yourself up if you had that block for your forehead. We'll pause there, make sure the position of the leg that you're on that's supporting, and as well as the leg that's out to the side. And it should be straight out of the joint of the hip, not forward or back. So just check your position. Like I said, alignment is important. And then slowly turn your tailbone up like the happy puppy. Yes? And as you turn that tailbone up just about a 16th of an inch, you feel that inner thigh, but then let go of that quad because the quad tries to do what it thinks it should be doing. So let go. So you become very attuned to your body, where it tightens up, where it needs to let go. Let go of that quad, and then feel into the shoulders. Take a deep breath, let those shoulders relax, maybe engage your lat muscle. So engaging the tip of your lat muscle that attaches in under your arm should feel like a sensation of squeezing a pencil under the backside of your armpit. Gently. Remember the gently, right? Take a deep inhale breath and a slow full exhale breath there. And just allow yourself to settle in. Notice if the quad tries to tighten again, or you feel stress in the neck and the shoulders because this is not their pose. They need to relax. Take that deep inhale breath and exhale. And possibly, here's your thought as we sit here. When we came out of that other side or we went into it and you notice the compression, and then you notice the release of that compression as you exit it. And sometimes it creates like a physio-electric sensation, yes, because it's been closed off. So likened to when your foot falls asleep because you were sitting on it. Take that deep inhale and exhale. Continue in this posture, just staying here with you on the mat. Feeling into the sensations, letting go of tension. Breathing. Breathe in. Slowly exhale out. And as we may note, one side always shows up differently than the other side. So just give it a longer breath. Allow the mind to send calmness. If you start thinking too much in your head, maybe visualize a color that resonates with you. Draw that color in, exhale the color around you. Let go. We'll take 2 more breaths. And after that second one, we'll begin to come up out of our elbows. Shift and take that leg all the way to the other side. So it comes across, and then you just drop that hip. And then from there, we'll just bring that leg, and let's sit over to our side. So if you sit to your side, and I'll face you, we'll have one leg that will line up with your mat in front of you. The other leg will come back. So it's like our legs are sitting in a swirled position. And then if you have a block or a bolster, we'll put that right up next to this leg. So we'll scoot this leg over again. So line up as the knee is straight out at the hip and this leg is folded across. Now your legs might look a little different, and that's fine because like I said earlier, we all have different mobilities that are there. So hug that block up here, and then we're going to rotate. Begin to rotate. So the block is up against my hip bone, and I'm going to rotate and stretch my rib cage over it to come into that twist. And slowly bring your elbows down. Now, if the block is too much for you, again, if you're using the block, The block can go this position or it can go in this position, right? So if you need the taller block to come over, and yes, it has a little bit of an uncomfortable position maybe as you come into it, but not too much. And you feel the twist of the spine. You might feel some of the bones adjusting to get you there, and we moved into it slowly, yes? So as we moved into that nice and slow, I will use the timer on this one. If you do your yin practice at home, I suggest using a timer. And the time that we want to stay here would be to work up to 3 minutes. So maybe you begin a practice and you're there for 2 minutes. Or as the question was posed to me, I can't hold it that long. Well, as soon as that thought enters your mind, take 3 more long, slow, deep breaths, and then let yourself slowly come out of it and go into something that would feel okay for you until we move into the next posture. Many times our mind says, I want to exit this, and that's that fidgeting going on because it's happening and your body's telling your mind that you want to leave. And if we just shut down those engines, take a deep breath, and we stay there maybe for 3 more breaths, maybe you'll feel a release and you'll actually stay there longer. Or maybe you just, kind of push the edge there. We want to work the edge. We don't want to fall over it. So that's your way of working your edge. So as we pause there, take that deep inhale and exhale. Now, if you had 2 blocks, you could also use that second block. I'll just move a little bit just to show you. And if this is your first practice here, you can always come back and watch it again, I believe. So just, you'll know what to grab, right? And so right there, I can let my head rest on that block and then, but again, try to find the alignment. Yes, we're twisted in our shoulders. It may feel as if this shoulder is a little further forward than the other one. So right there, I'm letting you check into your body as to where you're at. But we are in that twisted position. Again, think about the spine lengthening. Taking that deep inhale and slow full exhale. So we all know that we have a stronger and a weaker side. And our stronger and weaker side, our spine can deviate over years to that stronger side, leaving the other side a little more vulnerable, a little weaker. So I always like to check into the spine and find that balance. The spine was meant to rotate and twist, but possibly not in the manners in which we overdo it. Slowly begin to let yourself come up, untwisting. So you'll notice right there, I didn't go too quickly. I'm going to relocate that block as I come up. Oh, slowly come up, and I'm going to transfer everything to this other side. You're welcome to go whichever direction that you need to go in. So right now, let's just lean back, and we'll take our legs forward of our mat. And we'll just for a moment pause there. Sometimes it's great just to feel what was taking place on one side. Maybe just slide your hands over. Yes, you're going to flex your spine and round over there. This is a yin pose, but one we won't stay in today. We'll come all the way back up. So I'm going to set everything up on the other side for that twist. We'll take that leg across, the other one back. Find how your swirl works. Our swirls are all unique, right? So just as our bodies are, bring that block up here. So I'm going to reposition. Place the other one there for your forehead. Now we're taking our spine in the opposite direction. So I've already twisted just a little bit by taking that arm across because it tends to go with it. So I'm going to take a deep breath, sit tall, begin to twist, twist, twist over there. There we go. And then we'll stretch, stretch, stretch over. Oh, and then maybe this elbow isn't ready to come down there yet. So just be patient, wait on it. And then just pause there. There's enough going on in the rest of our body. And again, I'm going to set up a timer. And as you come over there, we'll let your forehead come down to the block. And maybe now that elbow's just, make the suggestion to your body and then just be easy. Let it be there. If this arm is up here, just kind of let it be for a few breaths. You'll notice that after 30 seconds, it'll start to release. It actually takes 30 seconds for the muscle to signal to the brain to release the substance that will let it go. It's physiology. Anyway, you don't have to worry about that so much. I'll just guide you through it. So just know that, yes, that's what happens after you're there for 30 seconds. So when we do stretches on our own, we need to be holding them, breathing with them, and no bouncing. That's an old-fashioned thing that I see it show up occasionally in my classes. That ballistic bouncing stretch. So right now, notice as we came into this, what's happening in this hip? Is it tense or can you just let it drop? Yeah, because whatever's holding in that hip and your shoulders, the spine in the middle where it's trying to twist is trying to get there. And maybe we just need to let go of that hip, right? Take a deep breath, let that hip go. So twisting is like bringing everything out. So today's Thursday of the week. So take that deep breath. Let go. Let everything from the week go because tomorrow's Friday. And then we all have our weekend. So take that deep inhale and simple exhale. Just letting go, letting be. And then notice your breath in that twisted position. Does your breath feel slightly like maybe I can't fill it up as full? Or maybe you wiggle a little bit to resituate. And then you breathe in and out. And then we're at our time, so we'll begin to walk your hands in, slowly come out of this. As you've noticed, some of our postures, when we exit, we do exit a little slower. That means there was some compression going on there, so we'll come up. We'll sit in the center. You can move everything out of the way. We'll bring your legs back straight out. Sitting tall. Right there, we'll sit. Place your hands on your knees, take a deep breath. And we'll exhale as you lean forward again. Let the feet just relax and release. Slowly we'll come all the way back up. And as you come up, place your hands at your side. Let those shoulders lift up with a deep breath, and then exhale, let those shoulders drop down. We'll take and bend your knees, feet are flat on the mat. And we have time for one more posture. So I'm going to turn this way. It's easier for you to see. So getting you into this posture, we'll end up on our back. I'm going to have you take, this is my left hand. Right foot comes under and I grab it with my left hand. I'm going to let this knee lay down. First, I'm going to go to supine position on my back. So there's that leg. This one's out of the way. So then I'm going to pull this leg in. I want to bring that heel as close to my tailbone as I can and let this knee become as heavy as it can so it lays down right there and you feel that stretch. Excellent groin stretch. Take that deep inhale and exhale. Both shoulders are on the mat. You can either put that hand on that knee right there or if you want to hold it by itself, it's up to you. Take that deep breath and inhale and exhale. Now, if your knee isn't completely flat, it's lifted up here, that's where it needs to be, right? We don't want to be critical. Be where you need to be in your body. As I let go and let my leg become heavier down there towards that mat. And again, remember that. It takes time for the body to let go and release. So be there with your breath. Allow yourself to relax and release. So we're going to come into another pose that's a hip twist. So with that hand across body on that knee, keep holding this foot. And if you need a yoga strap, straps are always great because you could use that around your foot. And then we'll bring this leg gently across right here. And then try to keep that shoulder open. This is called cat pulling its tail. Everybody usually gets a kick out of that one. Yes, if you've had a cat or your friend has a cat, you've seen the positions they get into. Now we do have an option in this, if the flexibility is there, if you could reach that leg out, and you could reach your hand to that big toe, and there we are, there's that cat. Now, if that is overstressing things too much, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I feel this. I feel it. I'm at my edge right there. I don't need to go any further. Take that deep inhale and exhale. Let go. Relax, release. Let go in those hips. As I mentioned earlier, something always tries to tense up. So turn yourself into your body, that inner world. Let go. Release, relax. And then slowly we'll let go of that lower leg. It's still there. You feel that twist. And then if you're holding the toe, let go of the toe, bend the knee in. Same arm will take that leg as you roll yourself back. And now extend the bottom leg out. Then we'll set that foot down. So as we switch going to side two, it's now my left leg, that's the under leg. And we'll let it gently ease its way open. So yes, do I feel tension there? Yes, I feel tension. Gonna take a deep breath, let go. Yes. And so again, this is under, I'm holding that foot, or you can use a strap on that foot. Decades ago, if we didn't have a strap, we used to find old neckties, you know, the long ones, not the clip-on one. So an old scarf we wore. It's a little softer than using a belt. Take that deep breath, inhale, exhale, just feel into that sensation of letting go. It'll come. Take another breath, and then we'll slowly come into that cat pulling its tail as we come across. You don't always have to reach to the toe, right? Let that shoulder open. So actually take your gaze to where it's centered. Let go in the hip. Take a deep inhale, breath, and exhale. We'll slowly release the hand from the under, holding the foot that's under. And then taking that to the leg, you'll roll back and we'll extend that leg out. So maybe you felt a lot going on in your hips there. So this week I've been focused on the hips. So let's set our foot down, slide the other one in. Come into Baddha Konasana, Butterfly Pose. Just for a few seconds. Maybe you feel place the heel of your hand on your hip bone. Take that deep breath. And slowly let the legs slide all the way out. Bring your arms up by your ears. Take a deep inhale breath. Reach from the tips of the toes to the fingertips in opposite directions, north and south. Maybe wiggle the toes and the fingers. And then slowly release. Let the legs relax. Toes are open. Arms will make their way down to your sides. In Shavasana, close your eyes. Take a long, slow, deep breath. Exhale the breath out. And as you take the next breath in, follow the breath through your body. So begin to scan through the body, noticing the residual effects of the postures we practice. Maybe some of them have a lingering effect that you feel. A sensation now where you can just relax and release and let go. Maybe again, focus on that color just to keep the mind relaxed, letting go. Take a few more slow, lingering breaths in and out. Just feeling into the body here. And as you take that next breath, we exhale out. We can gently slide the feet, flat knees bend, roll to your side, taking your time to bring yourself back up to easy sitting. And as we return into that easy sitting posture, can we take a deep inhale, a slow full exhale, sitting tall through the spine again, noticing, letting the shoulders melt down on the back. Letting the hips relax so there's no tension. Bringing your hands then into your Anjali Mudra, the Mudra of Reverence. Take a deep inhale breath, gaze into your fingertips. Take one more breath. May the energy of your practice be with you.